Beware the inflaming factors. Low-grade emotions continually affect our thinking, and they originate from our own impulses. For instance, the desire for pleasing and comforting thoughts. High-grade emotion, however, comes at certain moments, reaches an explosive pitch, and it is generally sparked by something external, a person who gets under our skin or particular circumstances. The level of arousal is higher and our attention is captured completely. The more we think about the emotion, the stronger it gets, which makes us focus even more on it, and so on and so forth. Our minds turn into the emotion, and everything reminds us of our anger or excitement. We become reactive because we are unable to bear the tension this brings. High-grade emotion usually culminates in some rash action with disastrous consequences. In the middle of such an attack, we feel possessed, as if in second life itself has taken over. It is best to be aware of these factors so that you can stop the mind from tunneling and prevent the religious action that you will always come to regret. You should also be aware of high-grade irrationality in others to either get out of their way or help bring them back to reality. Trigger points from early childhood. In early childhood, we are at our most sensitive and vulnerable. Our relationship to our parents had a much greater impact on us the further back in time we go. The same could be said for any other powerful experience. These vulnerabilities and wounds remain buried deep within our minds. Sometimes we try to repress the memory of these influences if they happen to be negative and create fears or humiliations. Sometimes, however, they are associated with positive emotions, experiences of love and attention that will continually want to relieve. Later in life, a person or event will trigger a memory of this positive or negative experience and will release powerful chemicals or hormones associated with this memory. Take, for example, a young man who had a distant and narcissistic mother. As an infant or child, he experienced her coldness as abandonment. And to be abandoned must mean he was somehow unworthy of her love. Or similarly, a new sibling when a sin caused his mother to give him much less attention, which he equally experienced as abandonment. Later in life, in a relationship, a woman might hint at disapproval or some trait or action of his, all of which is a part of the healthy relationship. This will hit a trigger point. She is noticing his flaws, which he imagines precedes her abandonment of him. He feels a powerful rush of emotion, a sense of imminent betrayal. He does not see the source of this. It is beyond his control. He overreacts, accuses, withdraws, all of which lead to the very thing he feared, abandonment. His reaction was to need some reflection in his mind, not to the reality. This is the height of irrationality. The way to recognize this in yourself and in others is by noticing behavior that is suddenly childish in its intensity and seemingly out of character. This could set on any key emotion. It could be fear of losing control, of failure. In this case, we react by withdrawing from the situation and the presence of others, like a child curling up into a ball. A sudden illness brought on by the intense fear will conveniently cause us to have to leave the scene. It could be love desperately searching to recreate a close parental or civil relationship in the present, triggered by someone who vaguely reminds us of a lost paradise. It could be extreme mistrust, originating from authority figure in early childhood who disappointed or betrayed us, generally the father. This often triggers a sudden rebellious attitude. The great danger here is that in misreading the present and reacting to something in the past, we create a conflict, disappointments, and mistrust, and that only strengthen the wound. In some way, we are programmed to repeat early experiences in the present. Our only defense is an awareness as it is happening. We can recognize a trigger point by experiencing an emotion that are usually primal, more uncontrollable than normal. They trigger tears, deep depression, or excessive hope. People under the spell of these emotions will often have a very different tone of voice and body language, as if they were physically living a moment from our life. In the midst of such an attack, we must struggle, detach ourselves, and contemplate the possible source, the wound in early childhood, and the patterns it has locked us into. This deep understanding of ourselves and our vulnerabilities is a key step toward becoming rational.